I am so jealous of women who are adults and still have their moms in their life. Like, you still her baby. She still look out for you every chance she get. She still care about your well-being. She still call you just to hear your voice.
Well, Diane, when Fantasia was growing up, did you find it hard, or did you all clash a lot? Would you say you were a strict parent or a lenient parent?
We was close. We was very close.
But she speaks so highly of you.
Yes.
She said that she loves you. You're her best friend. You're her role model.
Yeah.
But for her to say that about you, it told us something about the relationship that you both had. There's a lot of mothers and daughters that don't get along.
That's true. And you know, sometimes when I see that, it kind of breaks my heart.
To my mom, I love you. The sacrifices, the perseverance, you are a human personification of a Renaissance woman. This is proof that you can do anything. I'm just a young girl from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you to the Television Academy. Thank you.
The first believer in Coco Jones. We were all over the city together, not knowing how we were going to get this moment. But she never stopped believing in me.
Hello there. Y'all all right? Real quick, I wanted to share with you all a message about grieving, right? Today is my mama's birthday. She would have been 68 years old. She's been gone for 16 years. She died at a very young age. But the thing about grieving is that it never goes away. It never stops. It gets easier, but then there's some days that it's just very hard. Even if it was a long time ago. Holidays are tough. Birthdays. There are moments that you have. It's like a roller coaster that you're always on. But it never goes away. Sometimes in your best day, you grieve that person because you wish you could call them or go see them or share with them great news or achievements or whatever the case may be. But grieving is also a part of life, right? It's also the thing that kind of pushes us, and sometimes it holds us. Sometimes we get stuck in it. Sometimes it moves us in the best way. Everybody handles death differently, and you got to be all right with that. You got to respect how everybody handles it. Some people get angry. Some people get sad. Some people get quiet. So however it is that you're handling your grieving, it's all right. Just make sure you acknowledge the fact that this is a moment of grieving. It may last for a long time. It may last for a short while. But either way, it's your grieving to have. Okay? You're not alone in your grieving journey. It's also okay to talk about it, to keep their memory alive. When you can, you should. And when you can't, it's all right. That's it. I just wanted to share.
Before I begin, I want to extend my sincere condolences to anyone listening whose mother is no longer here. Grieving the loss of any parent is devastating, but when a girl loses her mom, especially before she reaches adulthood, there's not only loss to consider, but there's also the responsibility of having to grow up fast, as they say, and take on some of the responsibilities of your mother. So I want to take a moment to reflect on one of the most important relationships in our lives, and that is of a mother and daughter. Now, whether we're mothers ourselves, daughters, or both, the role of a mother is monumental in shaping who we are, how we see the world, and how we approach relationships in our own lives. Relationships with the family that we came from, as well as the family that we created. So let's start by thinking about what it means to be a mother. A mother is so many things all at once. I mean, she's a teacher, a nurturer, a protector, a source of comfort, and in so many ways, the first mirror we look into when we begin to understand who we really are. A mother plays a key role in forming a daughter's sense of self-worth and her identity. The words we hear as young girls from our mothers, whether they're encouragements, criticism, or just even casual remarks, they have a profound impact on how we view ourselves as we grow older. My mom used to say things like, "Cross your legs when you sit down, young lady." Or, "Don't you ever fight with your brothers and sisters." And oh yeah, here's one. "Make sure you wash underneath your breath when you bathe." Now that one never made any sense to me because I remember being around 10 years old when she first told me that. And I thought to myself, because you don't question your mama ever, what the heck does she mean by underneath? Hell, I wore a size 32 bra till I was 17 years old. I didn't figure out what she meant until after I breastfed my second child. Then I got it. Okay, you lift them up and you wash, because mama wanted to make sure that it didn't sour underneath there. But here's the thing. Not all of us grow up with our mothers directly guiding us. Sometimes that role is filled by grandmothers, foster mothers, aunties, or other women who step in to raise us. And while this can create strong and meaningful bonds, the experience of being raised by a mother figure other than your biological mother can shape your identity in different ways. And it's so important to acknowledge how that can affect a bond between a mother and daughter as they both mature. Let's break it down a bit. The power of a mother's influence over her daughter. The bond between a mother and a daughter is one that's in many ways unmatched. From the very beginning, a daughter's going to look at her mother as her first role model. She learns how to navigate the world, how to love, how to communicate, and sometimes how to survive based on how her mother approached life. A mother's usually a daughter's first teacher about self-worth. If a mother values herself, shows self-respect, and has confidence in her abilities, these qualities are often passed down, whether it's through words or actions. A mother teaches her daughter what a healthy relationship looks like, not just with a partner, but with friends, family, and more importantly, with herself. If a mother is patient, nurturing, and strong, these qualities will become ingrained in her daughter's approach to life as well. Would you believe me if I told you that I've never had a shouting match in my entire life? Well, it's true. Yeah, I'm soft and I'm gentle-natured, but my mother taught me to lose interest in people who act like they didn't want me around. And so I've become the easiest person in the world to get rid of. And I refuse to engage in back and forth yelling, arguing, or screaming with anyone. And fortunately, I've never had to defend myself in that way. So there's the role of the other maternal figures. What happens when a daughter is raised by someone other than her mother? Let's take a minute to consider that. Grandmothers, aunties, foster mothers, these women can have just as strong of an impact on a girl's development, although the dynamics might be different. But in some cases, these women may bring a strong, unique perspective that can be rewarding. For example, your grandmother may offer wisdom rooted in experience and tradition, while your auntie might offer a more playful or a different kind of mentorship. Sometimes your aunt is like a cool version of your mom. It's a relationship shaped by the lived experiences of these women, which, depending on their personalities, can provide a daughter with a well rounded view of life. Let's take my aunt, for example. She was very much into arts and crafts. My mother, not so much. But my aunt took us trick or treating. She showed us how to color Easter eggs. She had us singing Christmas carols in the neighborhood and took us to the amusement park. Man, she was the best auntie ever growing up. Mama took us to school, to church, to the grocery store, and a laundromat. That's it. Being raised by a proxy, though, whether it's a grandmother, or aunt, or a foster mother, it can sometimes create a gap in the way that a daughter sees herself in the world. There might be a feeling of a disconnect from her biological mother or longing for that connection that would have been formed had her birth mother been there day one raising her. Now, this can manifest in different ways as the daughter matures, perhaps in relationships with other women or in how she navigates her own path to motherhood. Let's talk about the impact of being raised by a proxy. When a daughter is raised by someone other than her biological mother, she may experience some key differences, like a sense of belonging. While love does usually exist in these relationships, a daughter may feel a sense of not fully belonging to her biological mother's side of the family, which could affect her sense of identity as she matures. It might not feel like the unconditional love that you feel coming from your biological mother. Before we become parents, we learn to love our siblings unconditionally. Me and my sisters have always been close, and even though we're married, have children, and live in different cities now, we keep in touch every day on GroupMe. Sometimes it's just a simple hello or what you cooking today. Growing up and even now, can't nobody tell me nothing about my sisters. I'm the second oldest, and sometimes me and my older sister clash because she thinks being older makes her wiser, and that's just not the case. Now, we might disagree, but you can't say anything negative about her. Not to me, at least. A sister teaches you through experience how to be a good friend. Mama used to make us hold hands when we were crossing the street together, and I used to hold my sister's hand so tight as if that was going to stop me from getting hit by a car. But I knew she had me. If we needed to walk faster or slow down for the oncoming traffic, my sister had my hand, and she helped make sure that I was safe. Now, I'm not going to act like I understood back then that we were building a bond as siblings. I just knew that Mama said we had to look out for each other. And so we did. And to this very day, we still do. After my mother passed away, my younger sister got married on my mother's birthday so we could turn that day from a sad one to a happy time to reflect on. Her then boyfriend came to me for approval. He said, I know your mother is no longer with us, and your sister told me that I have to get your approval before getting engaged. So I'm asking your permission to ask for your sister's hand in marriage. Well, long story short, they've been married for 5 years now. And I called my older sister and said, you know he asked my permission before he proposed to her, right? And she said, I'm still the oldest sister and I'm wiser than you, so please don't flatter yourself. He probably knows you're a control freak, so he's feeding into your male ego. And I swear that woman knows how to bust my damn bubble. Anyway, Mama taught us as kids to love each other, to look out for each other, to be kind to each other, and to have our siblings back no matter what. So when I see sisters fighting or hating on each other, I think, who raised y'all? Because I just assumed they weren't raised up together with their biological mother in the same home. What about attachment style? The way a daughter attaches to her caregiver might be influenced by the maternal figure in her life. If her mother wasn't available or present, the relationship with her grandmother or auntie might shape how she forms attachments in her adult life. She could struggle with trust or have a different understanding of unconditional love. Then there's different expectations. The expectations that a mother places on her daughter might differ from those of a grandmother or aunt. A biological mother might have more specific ideas about how she wants to raise her daughter or place more pressure on how to follow a certain path. In contrast, the grandmother or aunt might offer more freedom or a different type of nurturing. Remember, the mother has 9 months to think about how she's going to raise that child. In many cases, the pregnancy is planned out years in advance, so there's time to plan and to save for the unborn child. When you're sort of thrown into motherhood right away, for whatever the reason, you're dealing with just-in-time training on parenting and hoping that you get it right. And the training is from life experiences. Sometimes daughters raised by other maternal figures might struggle with feelings of abandonment or rejection by their biological mother. But this situation, it can also create room for healing and reconciliation, understanding the reasons for the absence and finding common ground can be a part of the journey towards self-acceptance. What's truly beautiful about being raised by a maternal figure other than your biological mother is that it highlights the idea that motherhood is not confined to biology. Women have the power to nurture, guide, and shape others no matter their relationship. The care, love, and wisdom that a woman offers to a daughter, man, it can make a lifelong difference. So for those of you who are mothers, grandmothers, aunts, or play a maternal role in someone's life, I encourage you to reflect on the influence you have. You're shaping someone's world, helping them navigate the challenges of growing up and giving them a model for how to live, to love, and be loved. It's clear that whether a girl is raised by her biological mother or another maternal figure, the role of women in her life is fundamental to her development. A mother's influence, whether it's biological or not, it has a serious effect on how a daughter understands herself and her place in this world. It shapes the way she sees her relationships, the way she views her strengths and weaknesses, and the way she navigates the world as she matures. What I hope I've emphasized is that regardless of the maternal figure, the nurturing influence of women in a daughter's life is invaluable, and it contributes to her growth, her resilience, and identity in terms of self-love and self-worth. So if you're a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, or someone who plays a maternal role in somebody else's life, know that you're making a difference. The guidance and love and strength that you offer shapes the very fabric of another person's life. And if you were raised by a mother figure other than your biological mother, take a moment to reflect on the beautiful, unique relationship you have and how it's influenced the person that you've become. There's always an opportunity for you to be the mother you wish you had. We know there's room for improvement, and it's never too late to start being the best version of yourself. And remember, all women, whether biological mothers or not, play a vital role in shaping the next generation. And that is something that's absolutely powerful. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. And if you're a mother or maternal figure, leave a comment below sharing your experience. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.